Hello, my name is Ziad Jalad, and I'm an actor living in Paris, and I'm here to present Dirty, Difficult, Dangerous, a movie in which I have the chance to be part of, and in which I have the lead role, the lead protagonist. Yeah. First of all, it was during COVID, so I had auditioned for the part without getting the script. So it was just one scene, which I found super. It's such a romantic and absurd scene. So I thought, okay, that looks very interesting. So I did the self tape, and then I got a call back. So I had the second audition with the director and the casting director, the same scene as well, and then I had a third audition with the potential lead actress, which ended up being Clara, and uh, and yeah. So during this process, I did not, I hadn't seen the script or read it, but then afterwards, well, I received the script, and yeah, I mean, immediately it's just, I think Wissam has a very kind of unique type of cinema, resembling a bit Kaurismäki and Robert Bresson, which is rare cinema nowadays. And I just found the story, I could relate to the story because I come from this part of the world, and I could relate to those themes of refugees, of how the domestic workers are treated. And this everywhere, actually, in all parts of the world. I think this movie is universal because, yes, it talks about the situation in Lebanon and about racism and, I mean, how Syrian refugees are treated, how uh, domestic workers, no matter where they come from, whether they're from Asian or African or so yeah, I found the movie very the script very touching and universal, and also very absurd and funny. So there's a lot of deadpan humor and some metaphors. So it was just a mixture of yeah, I mean, great themes and it was a great adventure because it was my first lead role. So getting to know Wissam, the whole crew, and living this experience, and being a voice to the suffering of Syrian refugees, and Clara, the suffering of domestic workers, was, I mean, yeah, a great first step. I didn't know many Syrian refugees, but I watched some documentaries online about Syrian refugees in Turkey, in Greece. I saw some footage about Syrian refugees in refugee camps, and we also, I mean, later on during the movie, we shot in an actual refugee camp. And then the rest was just basically, you know, I did my just my backstory. I had to imagine, use my imagination, and it can take you to far places. So I wanted to make sure that I could be the most truthful possible to this character, and so I just I did my backstory. I tried to understand. I mean, where does this guy come from? Before the beginning of the movie. So what did he go through? His past, his his relationship with religion, with about his views on politics, his relationship with his parents, and so on. And then and then the rest is just. And then I tried to obviously find his mannerisms, the way he walks, the way he talks. Um, and then in parallel with Wissam, we had a few rehearsals because Wissam also has a specific idea of, I mean, he knows exactly what he wants. So we rehearsed a few scenes, and we had discussed. I had, discussed with him how I imagined this person. So we were on the same page, and then when we came to on set, it was just. I think throughout the whole movie, it was very fluid, and we rarely, talked or about the character, about my vision of the character. So it was very fluid, and yeah, and he knew what he wanted, and it was funny because in some scenes, some moments, he specifically asked me to say a sentence in a certain way, you know, and he's just like, so for me, it was hard for me to understand or to, you know, relate. Or, but then when I saw the movie, I was like, okay, now I see where he's coming from, or you know what he wanted to show. Um, so yeah, basically it was just imagination, and trying to find, you know, the similarities and then the differences that I have between this myself and this character. And I think the differences are the, you know, the things that make you become this other person. So yeah, it's a mixture of many things. Yeah. We went to Corsica. We shot there for about 3 weeks, um, because it resembles Lebanon, and also for financing and production reasons. And then we went to Lebanon for a week, and we also shot over there. And yeah, it was just a wonderful experience, to be honest. And it was yeah, it was actually the first time. I hadn't been in Lebanon for a few years, um, but it was I was kind of, you know, shocked by the situation over there, because of the bombings that happened the year before that and the financial crisis. So it was, you know, like half of the shops were closed. It was like a ghost city in a way, you know, and a lot of poverty, a lot of people on the streets. So I was sad to see the state of the country, but at the same time, I was happy to be there to shoot in Lebanon, to be with Lebanese people. Um, and to work with them also was great. You know, great cast, crew, the production, everything was amazing. And yeah, and to eat Lebanese food, and so I had a lot of, you know, memories came back from my childhood, from the years I spent in Lebanon. You know, you visit some streets, or you know, like, oh, I remember the street from when I was young, my school, etc. So yeah, just great memories. And then we shot a few days in a camp, refugee camp, and that was also quite. It was something, you know. So it was really also moving, and in a way, just the moment you stepped foot on the refugee camp and you were seeing these people over here, and you're like, you know, this, it's so absurd, you know, and it's like no one deserves, you know, to suffer from horrible, you know, wars and so on. And also my character is, you know, you could see that he's, I mean, in his eyes, in his, just his energy, you know, is someone who's scarred for life because of what he witnessed. So he wasn't directly, he didn't take part in the war, but you know, he was there. He saw bombings, explosions. He lost his dad, and you know, so yeah. And I saw this energy that I was portraying, or I saw it in the eyes of these people, you know, to have a better understanding of people, you know, and try to change things for the better. But you know, I think it takes, you know, it doesn't take one person, but you know, you need. It has to be universal, and yeah, I just hope it helps, it enlightens people, and you know, it motivates them to change things, you know, for the better. I'm very happy and excited to be here, and you know, and it's great to see that. I mean, in this country, that you know, they're changing, and that you know, I think it's definitely a positive for the Saudi people to, you know, to be exposed to cinema and to produce movies and to have a voice, and to be also you know, somewhat equally represented, and yeah, so I think it's definitely a good thing, and I hope it stays this way. I would make a movie anywhere, because movie is, I mean, movies are, that's the beauty of cinema, and movies is that, you know, it's universal, and it's yeah, I mean, it's accessible to everyone. There's no religion, there's no color, gender. It's all the same, and it's a way of sharing, you know, emotions and experiences, and having questions about life, and yeah. So no, yeah. I mean, I'm down to act anywhere. It's part of, I mean, Earth. You know, we live in one world, so I don't believe really in frontiers, and I think it's been created to divide us rather than to unite us. So for me, shooting in Saudi or in Timbuktu, it's the same.